This is the Cambridge Soundworks OontZ Angle 3 Ultra. I paid $27 for it on Amazon as part of the Prime Deals type of thing. Anyway, let's check out the box. Inside of the box, which looks pretty plain to be honest, you have this weird looking pamphlet which has advertisements for stereo. I don't know why it's in here, and it also has a carrying case too. Neat. Although the carrying case honestly looks cheap. You have the owner's manual, which you really don't need, but you can visit the OontZ.com if you care. And then finally you get the speaker itself wrapped in this kind of nice looking wrap, although I wasn't able to find a place to open it, so I just ripped it open. So here's the OontZ speaker, and for $27 this thing's actually pretty nice. Now granted, the normal price is around $40, but I paid $27, and that's what I'm basing it off of. How much I paid, not how much you might pay. Although, I'm also gonna, answer the question whether or not it's actually worth $40 as well. So, as you take a look around, this thing's actually pretty big, considering size. But, it's not as big as the Polaroid PBT 3006. But it doesn't need to be that big. And the reason why it doesn't need to be that big is because unlike the Polaroid, it uses more sophisticated technology. As you can tell in this screenshot, boom, as you can tell in this screenshot, it uses a passive radiator to use the vibration from the tweeters to send off some bass waves. As you can see in the bottom, here after I flip it in just a second, you can see the large bass port that it has. Well, it's not really a bass port, it's a passive radiator, and that's how the bass is made. I believe it's also waterproof. I'm not exactly sure, don't quote me on it. But it uses a very sophisticated design, and as such you can get some good bass out of this, as I will demonstrate here in a little bit. So let's take a look at controls and features. This is all you get, button-wise. Power, volume up, volume down. Well, volume up, volume down. Track skip, play button, and the Bluetooth button. You have nothing on this side. And on this side, and this really hard to open thing, I actually got it open this time, you have your aux jack and your USB port. Now this thing claims that it can run 12 hours. Yeah, 12 hours on its battery, and I believe it charges in about an hour, give or take a few minutes, so that's pretty darn good. What else is good, I think, is, I don't know if I'd call this design tasteful, I'd call it gorgeous, because even though it's a pyramid, and pyramids really aren't that great, the cool thing about this is it doesn't have to look great, although it does anyway to me, because I like the black on black. But it angles the sound up so you can actually hear what you're listening to, versus designs like the Sylvania that I had a while back, which, by the way, update on that, it broke, which have it pointing this way, so you have to be like directly in front of it to get the best sound quality. This thing, you don't have to have that. Another interesting tidbit about the OontZ is it's made by Cambridge Soundworks, but you wouldn't know it because it's nowhere on the box, except for a few places, and really it's nowhere on the speaker. But it is. Right under here it says, designed by Cambridge Soundworks. You can see all the stuff right under there. It's called the Angle 3 Ultra, as I said before. And there you go. It has a microphone for taking calls. I don't know if I said that already. If I did, I'll just edit it out. And it's got some pretty weird feet. Is that anti-vibration feet? If so, that's some pretty sophisticated technology for about 40 bucks. So anyway, enough jibber jabbering. Let's hook this thing up to my phone and let's get a sound test. Camera wasn't on. Hooking this thing up to Bluetooth is actually extremely easy. Watch this. So I'm gonna turn it on. See, it's going to the blue light. And here any second it should pair. Now, On my phone, my particular phone, which is a Motorola Droid Max 2 from 2015, has Smart Pair, which means it'll see the device and pair it immediately. There it is. So now let's get a sound test. Now, I am using the microphones on this old Handycam CX405. Whether or not that's going to be any good, well, we'll find out, won't we? One more thing of note. I believe that you do not get a charger with this thing. So you better have a USB charger at home if you're going to be getting this thing. Because I looked in the box and there's no USB charger included. So, well, you have a phone anyway, you don't really care. Alright, on to the sound test. Hopefully my editing skills will be good enough. So as you can tell, this thing's got that sophisticated bass port, and it works out pretty well. You see that moving? So Bluetooth lag is actually not bad on this thing. Now you'd think it would be bad because, well, Bluetooth lags like a you-know-what, but it really isn't that bad. Like, I'm gonna skip around this song a little bit. And as you can tell, Bluetooth lag really isn't that bad. So seemingly it did really well in the range test, but I really didn't even go that far because this, unfortunately, where I am stationed is a little bit cramped, to be honest. The farthest I was able to go is about 38, 40 feet, give or take a few feet. But yeah, as far as I was able to go, it did really well. So anyway, that's it for the Cambridge Soundworks OontZ Bluetooth speaker. It really does OontZ. You know, okay, that's a terrible pun. It's a really good speaker, and I would recommend it to anybody who would want a cheap and cheerful Bluetooth speaker.